Most people grow up believing that money is simple something you earn, save, and spend, but step back far enough and you realize something unsettling. Money has always been a battlefield, not a metaphorical one, a real battlefield where nations win power, lose empires, and shape centuries without ever firing a single bullet. If traditional wars redraw borders, currency wars redraw destinies. They determine who gets to build their future and who gets buried by their past, and once you finally learn how they work, the world never looks the same again. Because here is the truth no government wants to advertise. When money becomes a weapon, every citizen becomes a target. Currency wars do not look dramatic. There is no smoke in the sky, no marching armies, no breaking news alerts. Instead, they show up quietly in higher food prices, shrinking paychecks, unstable governments, collapsing economies. You do not notice the blast, you only feel the shockwaves. And those shockwaves echo across centuries. Just look at the pattern. Every empire that rose on a strong currency eventually destroyed that same currency with its own hands. Rome diluted its silver, France printed itself into chaos before the revolution, the British Empire spent itself to exhaustion, the United States with its unparalleled financial influence now faces pressures that would have terrified even the architects of Bretton Woods. But here is the part almost no one sees. A currency war is never really about money. It is about control. Control over trade. Control over resources. Control over people. And the weapons evolve with every generation. In the ancient world, the weapon was debasement. In the 20th century, it was devaluation and fixed exchange systems collapsing under their own weight. In the 21st century, the weapon is far more sophisticated: interest rate manipulation, global sanctions, reserve currency dominance, and digital networks that can shut a country out of the world economy with a single switch. But the battlefield, that is still the same. It is your purchasing power, your savings, your future. After the Asian financial crisis, millions learned firsthand that a currency crash can destroy more lives in a week than a traditional war can in a year. Entire middle classes vanished overnight, wiped out not by invading armies but by collapsing exchange rates and rushed IMF agreements. And today, we are entering a new phase, a phase so complex that even experts whisper about it in careful tones. Some call it currency war 40, but that almost sounds too small for what is happening. Because this time the battlefield is not just banks and governments. It is also digital currencies, central bank wallets, artificial intelligence trading systems, blockchain-based reserves, economic sanctions delivered like precision missiles. For the first time in history, countries are no longer just fighting for control of money. They are fighting for control of the concept of money itself. Think about that. For thousands of years, money was simple metal, paper, something physical. You could hold it, count it, hide it if you had to. Not anymore. Today, money lives in databases, it lives in financial networks that can be turned on or off, it lives in algorithms that make decisions faster than any human could, it lives in systems where a single hack, a single glitch, or a single political decision can erase billions in seconds. That means the battlefield has moved into a place most people never think to look. And that is why the average person loses. Not because they are careless. Not because they are uneducated. But because the rules were rewritten in a language they were never taught. But history also teaches something important. Every currency war eventually ends in a reset. A global rebalancing. A new order rising from the ashes of the old one. The only question is, who is prepared for the reset when it comes? Because it will come. It always does. Maybe it arrives through inflation that quietly steals value year after year. Maybe it arrives through a digital currency revolution that replaces the old system entirely. Maybe it arrives through geopolitical conflict where financial alliances reshape the map of power. Whatever the catalyst, one thing is certain. The next currency war will not be fought in banks or boardrooms. It will be fought in the lives of ordinary people who had no idea they were combatants. So if this message feels unsettling, good. It should. Because awareness is the first shield. Preparation is the second. And refusing to sleepwalk into the next crisis may be the only advantage everyday people still have. History does not whisper. It shouts. And right now it is shouting louder than ever. When money becomes unstable, everything that depends on it does too. Which means everything. If this gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe. History has the answers.